All right, hello everyone. I'm going to do some more Tour 9 for you today, and just wanted to kind of show you, this is pretty much my standard bag for Tour number 9. Now, take a look at my Thor's Hammer 6. I understand you guys might not have that, but even if you have a Thor's Hammer 2, 3, 4, I'm going to play it more like those clubs anyway. I'm going to back off my topspin for the most part, and I'll try playing it with more like 5 topspin, which that's going to be the big difference maker between Thor 2, 3, 4. There's a little bit of distance loss, but it's not very much. We're only talking about maybe 10 yards, and a Thor 4, it's only 3 yards farther. So for the most part, 9 out of 10 times, as you can see kind of here, there's a lot of layup holes on Tour 9. So we don't need full drivers to get through this tour. There's very few times where we're going to need to break out some power. So let's just, focus on putting the ball in play more so than anything. So that's what you're going to see me do here. Ideally, I like being able to get a chance at that second fairway, but laying up into the first fairway, we just need to think about a strategy as to where we want to set ourselves up for a third shot. So anytime the wind is kind of, length isn't going to be the issue here. So you're going to see me back off the ball just a little bit. Also, in addition, you're going to see me probably play more of a 5 topspin shot and just try to predict the rollout. That way, I don't have to worry about going into power, and I can just kind of set, and you can see what I'm doing with the ball guide. I'm assuming it's going to roll out some. Thor's Hammer at 1.7 per ring. We're going to need to go at least 6 rings here. So you're going to see me do that. And aside from that, I might just curl it just to kind of straighten the line out a little bit. But that's going to be more or less all I'm going to do. And it's going to be down there safely. I'm not going to really be pressing the edge of the fairway too often when I use a method like that, because I can't really anticipate the rollout, and I really don't know how much when you put the topspin up like that, how much it's going to roll out. So it's best if, just like you saw both of us do, we just kind of stay away from the fairway edge. There's times where you can get aggressive to the fairway edge, not so much when it's straight into the face, unless you really have a lot of exposure. So now I've hit that shot, and I can kind of remember for next time that I can just kind of up my power a little bit. But aside from that, 10 extra yards there wouldn't have hurt me. So that means I could have went into a couple yards of power. But at the same time, the way that I just played it there, it's not going to make or break the hole for me. So here you can see, depending on whether or not the wind's up or down is going to dictate how I play this. So I might play a fairway hop here where I do more full topspin. Since you can see that the fairway is only 5 rings from the edge here, you're going to see me do it more this fashion to where I land it on the other side. And like I said, if sniper is 1 per ring, you can see that I'm going to land at least 3 rings up. And now what I'm going to do is a hook shot, which I'm going to do about 3 targets, maybe just a little bit more than 3 targets. I don't have my landscape mode on, so I'm probably going to go a little bit deep here. I didn't realize landscape mode wasn't on, so I'm assuming this might kind of run out of fairway here, and it does. Not really going to cost me, but let me go ahead and turn that on real quick. I didn't know this wasn't on. I tried to use it and I couldn't. And here you can see, kind of the functionality of my landscape mode. Turn it on, close it, let it go in the background. I see it right up here. It's one of these, screen rotation control right there. And it just runs in the background. I usually permanently have it on, set to auto, so that way when I flip my phone, it just, responds accordingly. So the fact that we went into the rough here, not going to be a huge deal, especially with a long Nirvana. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on first up sizing up the shot. So here I usually play right around maybe 1.8 per ring. So pulled back to here, I might use maybe 2.5 per ring for my wind resistance. So here you're going to see me maybe go just a shade under 3 rings here. So maybe right around here. And, you know, other than that, it's going to be concentrating on perfect ball. And if you get perfect ball timing, you're going to have a good chance at a good run out where it's going to be, you know, within a cup. You know, I might not make it every time, but it's going to be tight. Especially on, you know, straight winds like that. The only time where you might have a little bit more variable would be more of a side wind. You might underplay it a bit. But if it's straight, you know, 3/4 straight, you know, I'm going to assume that I can give it a pretty good run virtually every time. And I did just a tiny bit of an underplay there. So, you know, might have needed to just adjust to that 3 full rings. So let's go into some overtime here. And let's take a look at... Okay, so we've had this one quite a few times. Let's see what the wind's like. Hopefully we get a bit different here. We're getting straight into the face. It's not very high. It's only going to be like a 5 wind for me, which means overall it's probably maybe 6.5, somewhere in there, for a basic ball, which is going to be, you know, a very manageable wind. The way that you want to do this is with some topspin. I'm assuming that this guy probably knows that or can figure it out here. You're going to want to use a little bit of topspin here, especially into the wind. So let's see if, you know, I'm assuming, you know, for almost 90% certainty, Thumper here, he's going to come up a little bit short. But it might not, you know, be too bad. Let's see. And there you see it just coming up a little bit short. I also want to say, you can kind of see it there. There's like a funnel ridge there that if you miss, it looks like he was just missing outside of that ridge. If you roll it more in the fashion just to the right edge, you might be able to, you know, you can see it breaking back to the left. You can see my ball trail doing that. So that's usually where I try to play it, is more in there. And you can see I'm using about half a topspin here. In addition, in terms of rings, I like to do 20 extra %, so I'm going to do 6 rings here for my wind play. So I'm just going to try to visually kind of, you know, I'm not going to do it with the shot button here. I'm not terribly concerned about that. It doesn't need to be, you know, spot on. And there you see my great ball in it left. Also not going to cost me the hole. It is a little bowl, so if you miss a little bit left, you see there it starts to come back a little bit to the right. So it does kind of bail you out, right or left, but as long as you have to stay within like a two yard margin there, one kind of like 1.5 on the left and kind of 1 ring over to the right. So you just need to try to find that little groove there, and that's kind of the secret to that one. So and of course, you know, perfect ball timing is going to be virtually essential, but you can see if you have good distance control and technique, you can also get away with some play to where, what was I was only a yard off and I great balled it. So that shows, you know, very good technique to be able to still get it that close and give myself a good chance to win a lot of shootouts, even with a great ball. So that's one of the big reasons to use sniper. If you're debating about what woods to use, that's the biggest reason to use sniper, is the fact that it has such good precision that, especially if your timing's a little bit off, like mine today, that you know, you're still going to give yourself a good chance to win some shootouts. So good luck there, and I'll see you guys on the next tutorial.